11 Rules of the Millionaire Mind, Discipline, Habits, and Wealth Thinking. Written and published by the Audiobook Library, Part 1. Wealth begins in the mind, not the wallet. Before wealth ever appears in your bank account, it has to be built in your mindset. This is where most people fail, not because they're lazy, but because they're mentally unprepared to think, act, and respond like someone who is wealthy. Millionaire status isn't an amount, it's an identity. And identity is shaped by discipline, vision, and thought patterns repeated daily. You don't rise to the level of your dreams, you fall to the level of your systems. The systems of your thinking, your choices, your habits, and your reactions. Wealth is an internal standard. The financially successful don't wait for wealth to prove who they are. They adopt a standard before the results show up. They live by principles like Kefe. I act with long-term vision. Even when short-term comfort tempts me, I solve problems, I don't run from them. I am responsible for what I create. These aren't motivational quotes, they're internal rules. And rules guide behavior, especially when emotions try to sabotage progress. Most people are ruled by circumstance. Millionaire minds are ruled by clarity and choice. Your thoughts are tools, not truths. The average person believes every thought they have. The millionaire-minded individual questions every thought. Is this empowering? Is this strategic? Is this rooted in fear or in vision? They understand that thoughts are inputs, not commands, and only thoughts that serve your future should get your attention. Start treating your mind like a tool to shape results, not a place to entertain doubt. Stop chasing wealth. Start becoming it. There is a massive difference between chasing money and becoming someone who creates value effortlessly. Chasers hustle without direction, get emotional about losses, rely on luck and trends. Builders operate from principles, focus on leverage and long-term payoff. Become so valuable that wealth follows them. You are not paid for how much you want success. You're paid for how much value you build, protect, and multiply, starting with your mindset. Mental rules that shape millionaire minds. If you want to build true wealth, start here. Think in years, not days. Wealth requires time. Millionaire minds zoom out. They build systems, not bursts of effort. Lead yourself first. If you can't manage your time, energy, or emotions, you'll sabotage every opportunity that comes your way. Become immune to distraction. Focus is currency. Protect it with the same urgency you would protect your money. Operate with intentionality. Every action must have a reason. Every reason must serve your future. Detach from noise, attach to vision. Millionaire minds are driven by internal clarity, not external noise or comparison. Action steps to begin building your millionaire mind. Spend 10 minutes daily in focused thought. No phone, no input. Just think. Journal your top 3 priorities for the next year, not the next week. Choose one limiting belief and challenge it every day for 7 days. Create a 5-word personal mantra to repeat daily, e.g., I build wealth through clarity. The millionaire mind is not a gift. It's a result of small mental decisions repeated with discipline. You're not just learning ideas here. You're building the foundation of a future self that can create and sustain wealth, starting in the one place money can't touch, your mind. Part 2. Identity over income. Wealth doesn't start with making more. It starts with becoming more. In the world of millionaire thinking, identity comes before income. When you focus only on outcomes, like money, status, or freedom, you chase temporary wins. But when you build the kind of person who creates those outcomes consistently, you're no longer at the mercy of chance. Your mindset isn't just part of the game, it is the game. Who you are determines what you attract. Ask yourself, am I operating from the identity of someone who has to get rich, or someone who already thinks like the rich? There's a powerful difference. Millionaires don't just have high standards, they have internal codes for how they show up. They see failure as data. They respond, not react. They value time over attention. They delay rewards for long-term results. The way they think, move, invest, learn, and decide. It all stems from a version of self that was intentionally built, not inherited or borrowed. Stop acting rich. Start thinking rich. We live in a culture that idolizes the look of success, luxury, dopamine, public image. But millionaires build wealth with quiet habits, not loud aesthetics. Anyone can spend, anyone can pretend. But few can discipline their identity to think, what would a long-term thinker do today? What system will protect me from my future laziness? How can I create leverage, not more labor? Wealth thinkers don't perform for the crowd. They build in silence, execute with precision, and let results speak over time. Rebuild your self-image, rule by rule. If you want new results, you need a new lens. Start defining yourself, not by what you currently do, but by what your wealth-aligned self would always do. For example, I am the kind of person who invests in growth, even when it's uncomfortable. I don't negotiate with discipline. I protect it. I move with clarity, not urgency. Every identity shift begins with a rule, a personal law you don't break, even when it's hard, even when no one's watching. Upgrade the story you tell yourself. What do you believe about success, wealth, struggle, deserving, discipline? Millionaire minds are shaped by stories that empower action, not excuses. They don't say, I'm bad with money. They say, I'm learning to manage wealth with intention. They don't say, that's just how I am. They say, this is who I'm becoming. Language builds mental real estate, and your internal language determines your external lifestyle. Identity rules to live by. Speak like your future self. Eliminate weak language. No more hopefully or someday. Replace with I am. I build, I decide your standards, and live them. Don't wait until you're rich to act rich in character. Respect your time, commitments, health, and energy now. Be non-negotiable with alignment. If an action doesn't align with your wealthy identity, cut it, fix it, or delegate it. Focus on systems over moods. Millionaire identity isn't about motivation. It's about having structures in place that survive your lazy days. Action steps to embody the wealth identity. Write a clear description of your wealthy self, how they think, behave, solve problems, and spend time. Create 3 new identity-based affirmations. Repeat them daily. Audit your calendar, phone, and environment. Ask, does this reflect the person I'm becoming? Start showing up as that person now, not when things feel ready. Your income will rise to match the strength of your identity, not overnight, but inevitably. If you build from within, no economic storm, loss, or setback can take away what's truly yours. The mind of someone who always finds a way to rise. Part 3. Mastering discipline. The silent power behind every fortune. Discipline is not about punishment. It's not about rigid rules, cold routines, or suffering through discomfort. Discipline is the highest form of self-respect. It's how you prove to yourself that your vision matters more than your feelings. If you look behind every successful business, body, bank account, or legacy, you'll find one constant: a disciplined mind, making clear choices long after motivation has left the room. The lie of motivation. Motivation is seductive. It gives you a surge of energy, but like caffeine, it crashes. It fades. And when it does, your habits collapse. Unless you've built the muscle that doesn't depend on hype. Discipline. Millionaire minds don't wait to feel like it. They've trained their behavior to align with identity, not emotion. They don't trust moods to determine action. They trust systems. You don't need more motivation. You need a calendar, a consequence, and a commitment that holds, even when the mood doesn't. Discipline protects vision. Ideas are easy. Goals are exciting. But discipline is what takes your future seriously. Every time you choose structure over impulse, you're telling your future self, I've got your back. I'm not abandoning this path. Millionaire thinkers build boundaries around their focus. They protect their mornings, their inputs, their energy, their time, because they understand, if you can't control your day, you won't control your destiny. Discipline is how you vote for your future, one decision at a time. The 2 kinds of pain. Everyone experiences pain, but there are only 2 types that matter. They wake up early, even when it's easier to sleep. They study, even when they could scroll. They invest, even when consumption feels tempting. Why? Because they've felt regret, and they never want to feel it again. It's built in the small, invisible moments. Eka, saying no to junk input, honoring a calendar block, finishing the last 10%, showing up when no one's clapping, keeping promises only you know about. These tiny moments shape your mental reputation. Every time you follow through, you increase your belief in your own power, and belief is the engine of every result you'll ever create. The real discipline is emotional. It's easy to follow routines when everything feels good, but true discipline shows up when you're anxious, you're tired, you've failed publicly, you've lost momentum, you're doubting yourself. This is where most minds quit. But the disciplined mind keeps showing up, not out of blind grit, but because they've trained for moments like this. They don't fear difficulty, they expect it, and more importantly, they've already decided, I keep my word, no matter what. Discipline is a freedom multiplier. Most people think discipline is restrictive, but in reality, it's the only path to real freedom. Freedom of time, freedom of income, freedom of choice, freedom of health, freedom of peace. You only get those when you earn them through habits, structure, and boundaries. Millionaires aren't lucky, they're intentional. They use discipline as a tool to unlock everything others wish for but never stick around to claw. You need to build smarter systems. Automate key decisions. Set up consequence-based accountability. Use your environment to trigger the right behaviors. Build routines that eliminate thinking and force doing. Millionaire minds don't wing it. They engineer their lives to force follow through, especially when they don't feel like it. They treat discipline as a design problem, not a personality trait. Build a 7-day micro-challenge around it with daily tracking. Create a consequence for breaking your commitment. Losing $50 to a friend. Public accountability. Anything that stings. Audit your environment for distractions. Delete, move, or hide anything that pulls attention without purpose. Design your day the night before. Don't leave your future to chance. Decide what winning tomorrow looks like today. Use a show-up rule. On hard days, don't aim to be excellent. Just aim to show up. Even at 20% done is better than 0% perfect. Discipline is not the enemy of freedom. It is the path. And when you master it, not once, but daily, you stop hoping for wealth and start building the kind of life that can hold it. Part 4: The Power of Focus. Protecting the mind from mental bankruptcy. If discipline is the engine that drives success, focus is the steering wheel. You can be driven, talented, even ambitious, but without clear and consistent focus, you'll end up busy but broke, active but aimless, surrounded but stuck. Millionaire minds don't scatter attention, they direct it with force, because they understand. Where focus goes, energy flows. Where energy flows, results grow. In a world addicted to distraction, focus isn't just a skill, it's a superpower. Most people are mentally bankrupt. Every day, your brain spends attention like currency. But unlike money, attention doesn't regenerate instantly, it depletes. And most people live on mental overdraft. They give their attention to notifications, endless scrolling, conversations that go nowhere, opinions that don't matter, tasks that don't build. At the end of the day, they're not tired from working hard. They're tired from being mentally scattered. Millionaire minds don't live like that. They budget their attention the same way they budget money, with clarity, control, and intention. The law of focus. Simplicity wins. High performers don't do more, they do less, better. They know that the brain thrives on depth, not noise. That focus isn't about grinding harder, it's about choosing fewer, clearer, higher impact moves. Instead of consuming hours of content, they act on one idea relentlessly. In a distracted world, the focused mind automatically rises to the top. Distraction is the enemy of wealth. Distraction doesn't just waste time, it destroys potential. Every time you interrupt your focus for a meaningless task, you're telling your future self, my attention is cheap, my time is negotiable. But for the millionaire mind, attention is sacred. They train their environment and behavior to protect it. 30. No phone first thing in the morning. Daily deep work blocks. Strategic time away from input. Saying no to 90% of requests because they understand you can't create wealth while living in reaction mode. Train your mind like an athlete trains their body. Focus isn't luck. It's not just how you are. It's a trainable skill, and like any skill, it needs reps. Millionaire minds train focus by tracking progress, measuring what matters to stay sharp, removing friction, reducing decisions, noise and multitasking, recovering with intention. Rest is part of the focus cycle, not an excuse to escape it. Like a world-class athlete, they don't just try hard, they design their day to win. Focus is not just mental, it's emotional. One of the biggest causes of distraction, emotional noise. You can't focus when you're resentful, anxious, jealous, uncertain, burned out. Millionaire minds work through their emotions with clarity. They reflect, they journal, they have coaches or systems. They don't suppress, but they don't let emotion run their schedule either. They stay clear, grounded, and ruthless with their time, because emotion without awareness leads to reaction, and reaction is the death of focus. Designing a life around focus. This is where most people go wrong. They try to fit focus into a chaotic life, instead of building a life that supports it. Here's what millionaire minds do differently. 30. Design their mornings to protect clarity. Say no to shiny distractions that dilute long-term goals. Create focus rituals before key work sessions. Keep environments clean, organized, minimal. Take ownership of calendar, instead of letting others fill it. They don't hope for productivity. They create systems where focus becomes the default. The focus audit. If you want to think like the wealthy, you must audit what steals your focus. Ask yourself, what apps do I open without thinking? What notifications break my attention? What tasks feel productive but keep me poor? What relationships drain clarity? What do I keep saying yes to out of guilt? Then make one bold decision. Cut one distraction completely, not reduce it, eliminate it. That one cut could free up 3 hours of clear thought every week. And 3 hours of deep work could unlock the breakthrough you've been chasing for 3 action steps to multiply focus daily. Set one non-negotiable deep work block per day, even if it's just 60 minutes. Create a focus ritual. Same location, same music, same tools. Train your brain to click in. Use time boxing. Assign a purpose to every hour. Don't let the day decide for you. Eliminate digital triggers. Turn off notifications. Log out. Go grayscale if needed. Track your clarity. End each day by writing the one thing you did that truly moved you forward. Focus isn't just how you work. It's how you live. And when you learn to protect it, direct it, and harness it, you'll become the kind of person who doesn't chase opportunity. You'll become the one opportunity chases, because your results will speak so loudly, no distraction can drown them out. Part 5. Identity is destiny. Becoming the person who deserves the life you want. Every millionaire begins as a thinker, not a rich thinker, not even a smart thinker, but a person who makes one radical internal decision. One radical internal decision. I'm no longer just changing what I do, I'm changing who I am, because behavior follows belief. Habits follow identity, and until you change the story you believe about yourself, no tactic or strategy will stick. Why most people stay stuck. You can download routines, you can mimic habits, you can wake up early, say affirmations, and hustle until midnight. But if deep down you still believe, I'm not good with money, I always give up, then no amount of action will override that identity. Your subconscious will always pull you back to what feels familiar, even if familiar is failure. Millionaire minds don't just chase results. They upgrade their identity until new results feel inevitable. The identity loop. There's a simple loop that governs all human behavior. Belief, what you think about yourself. Action, what you do because of that belief. Evidence, the results that reinforce your belief. It looks like this. I'm not a disciplined person. You skip your goals. you get poor results. The belief gets stronger. But millionaire minds interrupt the loop. They choose new beliefs before the evidence arrives. They say, I'm a focused, disciplined person. I'm building a wealthy, strategic mind. I'm consistent, even when it's hard. Then they act accordingly. And that action generates new evidence. This is how identity transformation begins. But that's not what millionaire minds do. They don't fake. They practice becoming the person they want to be. Every time you take action aligned with your new identity, you're casting a vote for that version of yourself. It doesn't require perfection, just consistency. Every time you show up early, every time you choose discipline over comfort, every time you follow through when no one's watching, you're telling your brain, this is who I am now. Eventually it believes you, and once it believes you, the behavior becomes automatic. The cost of a poor identity, a weak identity, is expensive. It makes you nay to opportunities you're ready for, undervalue your work and time, accept relationships that drain your potential, quit too soon or not start at all, self-sabotage just when things are working. Millionaire minds don't just build bank accounts, they build identities that can hold success without dropping it. Because here's the truth, if you accidentally succeed beyond your identity, you will subconsciously destroy it to return to what feels normal. This is why lottery winners go broke, why fast success turns into fast collapse. But when your identity is built before the success, success becomes stable, scalable, and sustainable. Build from the inside out. Millionaire minds ask themselves better questions. What would the disciplined version of me do right now? What identity would make this problem irrelevant? If I were already wealthy, how would I think and act today? They design identity first. Behavior follows. It's not pretending, it's preparing the mind for the level of life it's about to receive. You don't rise to your goals, you sink to your identity. We all want more income, more freedom, more peace, more purpose. But you can't out-hustle your self-image. The ceiling of your life is not your potential, it's your identity comfort zone. If your inner world is wired for average, no external success will feel safe. You'll shrink it, avoid it, sabotage it. Millionaire thinkers stretch their identity on purpose. They normalize wealth. They rehearse success mentally. They become the person who belongs at the next level before they ever arrive. The identity upgrade ritual. To shift your self-image, you must make it a daily practice, not a one-time decision. Here's how to do it. Craft your future identity. Write one paragraph that describes the person you are becoming. I am a strategic, self-led thinker who operates with clarity, wealth, and discipline. I protect my time. I move with purpose. I don't need to be motivated. I am driven by vision. Read it out loud, daily, morning and evening, not to hype yourself up, but to rewire belief. 3. Act in alignment. Don't try to change everything. Just ask, what's one small decision I can make today that proves I'm already becoming this person? 4. Track your proof. Write down every aligned action you take, no matter how small. Over time, these become evidence, and evidence shapes identity. Action steps. Becoming the millionaire version of you. Audit your self-talk. Eliminate language like I'm bad at, or I've never been the type to. Make identity-based decisions. Choose actions not for convenience, but for alignment with who you are becoming. Catch and replace old beliefs. When doubt arises, pause and say, that's the old me. I don't think that way anymore. Surround yourself with identity expanders. Be near people whose normal is your next level. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you believe you. Part 6. Thinking in decades. The millionaire mindset of long-term wealth. Most people think in days. Some think in months. A rare few think in years. But the millionaire mind thinks in decades. While others chase fast money, instant wins, and surface-level rewards, the wealthy thinker plays a longer game, one where time is an asset, not an enemy, because they understand one universal truth. Wealth is not built in intensity. Wealth is built in duration. Short-term thinking is a poverty trap. Most people are trapped in what we can call survival thinking. It looks like this. How can I make it through the week? How do I survive this month? What's the fastest way to get paid? It's reactive, desperate, narrow, and it produces short-term actions that sabotage long-term progress. Jumping from job to job, abandoning projects too early, spending impulsively, quitting when results aren't instant, looking for hacks instead of systems. Millionaire minds are wired differently. They zoom out. They don't just ask what works now. They ask what compounds over time. Compound thinking, the hidden superpower. Millionaire minds understand the most powerful force in wealth building is compound interest, not just financially, but mentally, strategically, and emotionally. They ask, what small behavior, repeated over 10 years, will make me unstoppable? What skill can I master now that will be invaluable a decade from today? What relationship should I build slowly and intentionally for long-term opportunity? What business can I start that won't just make cash, but build equity? Because compound thinking is about more than patience. It's about positioning. They don't rush into returns. They design lives that will still pay off when everyone else is burned out. The delayed gratification mindset. The poor want to feel rich today. The wealthy want to be rich forever. This is the mindset difference. Millionaire minds delay pleasure, not because they're disciplined robots, but because they've trained their brain to value future rewards more than instant ones. They'll drive a modest car while building their empire, say no to vacations in order to invest in assets, skip status symbols to fund future freedom, work in silence so they can win in peace later, because they're not building for approval. They're building for ownership, and ownership takes time. How millionaires think about time. Time is the core currency of a wealthy mind. Poor minds trade time for money. Wealthy minds invest time to buy back freedom. Here's how that looks. Poor thinking. Wealth thinking. I worked 40 hours. I should get paid. How can I use 40 hours to build something that pays me forever? I need income now. I'll plant seeds today for harvest later. I can't afford to wait. I can't afford not to think long-term. Millionaire minds use time as leverage, not just a cost. They build things once that pay them for years. Online businesses, investment portfolios, content libraries, digital products, systems and automations. Every hour they work is a brick in a permanent structure, not a moment lost to a paycheck. Create wealth, not wages. A wage is what someone gives you in exchange for your time. Wealth is what you create through ownership, assets and leverage. Millionaire minds obsess over value creation, not just labor. They ask, what can I build once and sell forever? What assets will grow whether I'm working or not? What problems can I solve at scale? How do I become a person of leverage, not labor? They think like owners, not workers. Even if they start in jobs, they're learning, watching, building skills quietly in the background, because the goal is never just income. The goal is escape velocity, getting to the point where money works harder than they do. Patience is a millionaire skill. In a world that wants everything now, patience is an act of rebellion. Millionaire minds are patient, but not passive. They move with urgency inside the day, but think with patience across decades. They understand the first year of a business might just be planting, the second might be survival, the third might be momentum, and the fifth might be when things explode. But most people never make it past year 2. Millionaire thinkers expect delayed results, and because of that they stick around long enough to earn the outcome. Protect your vision from the short-term crowd. One of the hardest things about long-term thinking. You'll be misunderstood. They'll pressure you to enjoy life more now. They'll brag about quick wins while you're building silently. Millionaire minds aren't swayed. They protect their mental environment by surrounding themselves with other long-term thinkers. They know, a decade from now, no one will remember who got rich quick, but everyone will respect the one who built something that lasted. Daily habits for long-term wealth thinking. Part 7. Emotional mastery. The millionaire's secret weapon. Money is not just math. Wealth is not just strategy. Success is not just discipline. It's emotional mastery. Because before you win in business, before you win in investing, Before you win in the world, you must learn to win in your own mind, especially in the moments when emotions try to sabotage you. Millionaire minds aren't just calm on the outside. They're trained on the inside. They've built a relationship with their emotions that most people never develop, and that's what sets them apart. Why emotional control is more valuable than intelligence. High intelligence can make you clever, but emotional mastery makes you dangerous in the best way. Because without it, here's what happens. A smart person panics in a market dip and sells low. A skilled person lets fear of judgment stop them from launching. A strategic thinker lets anger ruin key relationships. A talented entrepreneur quits after one failure. You don't lose because you're dumb. You lose because your emotions run the show. Millionaire minds flip the script. They still feel emotions, but they've trained themselves to respond, not react. They know, it depends on what I do, even when I feel uncomfortable. The mindset shift. Emotions are not enemies. Most people treat emotions like enemies. Most people treat emotions like enemies. I need to stop feeling fear. I wish I didn't feel doubt. I can't move forward until I feel confident. But millionaire minds know a deeper truth. Emotions are not enemies. They're data. Fear means you're about to stretch. Doubt means you're stepping outside the known. Impatience means you need to zoom out. Frustration means something's misaligned, but none of them are reasons to stop. Emotional mastery means listening to your emotions and leading yourself anyway. Emotions that sabotage wealth, and how millionaire minds handle them. Let's look at the emotions that keep most people broke, and how emotionally wealthy minds respond to them. Fear mindset. What if it doesn't work? Wealth mindset. What if it does and I stayed small out of fear? Millionaires don't avoid fear. They get good at acting in spite of it. Fear becomes a signpost, not a stop sign. They ask, is this fear a warning, or just unfamiliarity? If it's the second, they move forward anyway. 2. Impatience. Poor mindset. It's not working fast enough. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. Wealth mindset. Speed doesn't equal success. Consistency does. Millionaire minds zoom out. They know a slow, steady path that compounds is more powerful than short-term hype. They expect the dip. They expect the plateau. They keep building anyway. 3. Shame. Poor mindset. I've failed too many times. I don't deserve success. Wealth mindset. Every failure trained me for this. Nothing is wasted. Millionaire minds don't carry shame. They convert it into strength. They study their mistakes like scientists, not victims, because nothing builds resilience like rising from a low point. 4. Envy. Poor mindset. They're ahead of me. It's not fair. Wealth mindset. If they can do it, it means it's possible for me too. Millionaire minds use envy as evidence. Evidence that the next level exists. They don't waste energy comparing. They stay in their lane and let others' success fuel their own belief. 5. Self-doubt. Poor mindset. I'm not ready. I'm not good enough yet. Wealth mindset. Readiness is a myth. Progress makes you ready. Millionaire minds don't wait for permission. They start, then refine. They know doubt doesn't disqualify them. Only inaction does. Emotional fitness. Wealth fitness. Think of your emotions like muscles. If you never lift anything heavy emotionally, you stay fragile. But when you train through discomfort, you build mental weight. Resisting the urge to quit builds endurance. Staying calm under pressure builds clarity. Choosing focus over anxiety builds self-leadership. Practicing gratitude under stress builds perspective. Millionaire minds don't run from emotional weight. They lift it on purpose, because they know strong minds create strong lives. Emotional anchors. Millionaire habits that keep you grounded. Here are habits emotionally wealthy people use daily to keep their minds sharp and steady. Daily self-check-ins. They ask, what am I feeling right now? Is this emotion based on fact or fear? What's the wisest action I can take anyway? This prevents emotional impulse from hijacking progress. 2. Scheduled solitude. Millionaire minds protect quiet time, because clarity doesn't come from noise. Even 10 minutes of reflection can prevent 10 hours of misdirection. 3. Emotional journaling. Instead of dumping emotions onto others or bottling them up, they journal with purpose. Vision before emotion. They revisit their long-term vision every single day, because when your focus is anchored in the future, you're not swayed by today's emotional storm. Discipline is emotional control in action. We often define discipline as doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not, but at its core, discipline is emotional control. It's saying, yes, I'm tired, but I'll do it anyway. Yes, I'm nervous, but I'll launch anyway. Yes, I'm uncomfortable, but I won't quit. Millionaire minds don't wait to feel motivated. They operate on principle, not mood, because they know the person who leads their emotions, the wealth behind emotional stability. Why is emotional mastery such a powerful tool for wealth? Because when others panic in the market, react in conflict, waste time on comparison, collapse under pressure, quit in discomfort, you'll be the one still standing, still building, still calm, still consistent. That's where the edge is. Wealth doesn't just go to the smartest or fastest. It goes to those who can hold their center, while the world around them spins in chaos. Action steps. Building emotional wealth. Identify your emotional trigger. What consistently throws you off course? Name it. Prepare for it. Build the pause muscle. When emotion rises, pause before responding. Breathe. Ask, what would the future version of me do? Practice neutral thinking. Instead of catastrophizing, say, this is data. What's my best next step? Anchor to your vision daily. Revisit your why every morning. Purpose dissolves distraction. Celebrate emotional wins. Stayed calm under pressure. Followed through despite fear. That's growth. Track it like success. You don't have to be emotionless to win. You just have to be emotionally trained. Because in the end, the greatest form of wealth isn't in your bank account. It's in your ability to lead yourself, no matter the storm. Part 8. Energy, environment and the power of intentional living. You can't create a powerful life from a powerless state. You can't build long-term wealth while running on empty. And you can't become who you're meant to be while trapped in environments that drain you. Millionaire minds know energy is currency. Environment is strategy. Intentionality is non-negotiable. While most people obsess over external tactics, new hacks, systems, routines, those who thrive long-term build lives that support performance. Not just productivity, not just short sprints of discipline, but consistent, sustainable, elevated living, powered by clarity, energy, and alignment. This is what makes the difference. Your energy is your foundation. Every decision you make, from how you respond to stress to how long you can stay focused, is filtered through one factor: your current energy level. You can have the perfect plan, you can have every resource, but if you're mentally, emotionally, or physically exhausted, you won't follow through. This is why millionaire minds protect their energy like their life depends on it. Because it does. They don't let small leaks turn into life drains. They engineer their day, habits and relationships to optimize their internal state, because they know the quality of their outcomes flows from the quality of their energy. Energy leaks that keep you stuck, and how millionaire minds seal them. Let's look at common energy leaks, and how people with elevated mindset and wealth thinking eliminate them. 1. Reactive mornings. Wake up, grab phone, scroll, stress, rush, distracted all day. Millionaire minds own their mornings. They don't start the day reacting to the world. They start it by anchoring to their mission, with silence, with focus, with discipline. They rise earlier than they need to, not to brag, but to, because the first 60 minutes set the tone for the next 16 hours. 2. Toxic input. News, negativity, gossip, chaos, all hijack your mental bandwidth. Millionaire minds curate their input like they curate investments. If it doesn't fuel growth, vision or peace, they delete, mute or block it. They don't consume by default. They guard their mind on purpose. 3. Unclear boundaries. Always available, always saying yes, always putting out fires. Millionaire minds don't confuse busyness with value. They protect their time like it's money, because it is. They use calendars, time blocks and quiet hours. They say no more often than they say yes, and they don't apologize for choosing their mission over distractions. 4. Cluttered environment. The physical mess, mental fog. Millionaire minds understand your outer world reflects your inner world. Clean space, clear systems, ordered environment. These aren't luxuries, they're performance tools. They invest in making their space support focus, calm and execution. The millionaire environment, a hidden advantage. Most people underestimate the power of environment, but look closely and you'll notice people who win have designed their surroundings to support their goals. Physical environment, no clutter, minimal distractions, clean workspace, tools visible, friction removed, systems in place, lighting, color, even scent, all chosen for focus, energy and calm. They treat their home and office like a launch pad, not a prison. Digital environment, apps deleted, notifications off, default browser tab, calendar or vision, not chaos. Daily review instead of hourly scrolling. Their digital world reflects discipline, not addiction. Social environment, they intentional with who they spend time with. They outgrow circles that resist growth. They invest in mentors, mastermind groups, and people who normalize excellence. They know the old saying is true, you rise or fall to the level of your environment. So they rise by design. Energy habits of the wealth-building mind. Here's how successful minds generate, protect and multiply energy. 1. Sleep as a strategy. While others brag about hustle, millionaire minds prioritize sleep because it's the foundation of decision-making, creativity, and mental toughness. They track it, protect it, respect it. 2. Movement as a non-negotiable. Exercise isn't optional, it's mental fuel. It sharpens focus, regulates emotions, and increases stamina. Even a 20-minute walk is viewed as a meeting with their future self. 3. Nutrition for focus, not just fitness. They eat for clarity, not comfort. Whole foods, water, routines, not fads. They know blood sugar, hydration and gut health impact more than the body. They impact thinking. 4. Stillness as strength. Meditation, breathing, silence, not fluff, but mental reset. Millionaire minds understand stillness isn't weakness, it's how you sharpen the blade before you swing. Creating your high-performance routine. Here's how you can start living with more energy, more intention, and more momentum. Just like top performers. Morning setup. Prime your mind. Visualize your future self. For 3 minutes. Review top 3 priorities for the day. Work block. Protect your flow. 90-minute deep work window. No interruptions. Phone off. Browser tabs limited. One goal only. No multitasking. Midday recharge. Rebuild your energy. Move your body. Eat something clean. Reflect. What's working? What's draining? Evening reset. Close with intention. No screens 1 hour before bed. Write 3 wins. Plan the next day. Wind down slowly, not sudden. Design beats discipline. Here's a truth that millionaire minds live by. Discipline fails when your environment works against you. But when you design your life to support who you're becoming, discipline becomes easier. Habits become automatic. Growth becomes natural. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being intentional. Every single day, small changes to your space, your schedule, and your inputs can create exponential results over time. Action steps. Build an energy-optimized life. Audit your environment. Walk through your space with fresh eyes. What adds energy? What drains it? Fix one thing today. Protect your mornings. For the next 7 days, start your day without your phone. Replace with silence, breath, and clarity. Define your power. 3. What 3 habits increase your energy most? Move, sleep, water. Schedule them in. Declutter weekly. Physical and digital files, emails, your desk. Clean space, clean focus. Upgrade your circle. Spend 5 more minutes with people who elevate you. Spend 5 less with those who drain you. Wealth isn't just created in your mind. It's created in the world you build around that mind. Create the space, guard your energy, design your days, and you'll find success becomes not just possible, but predictable. Part 9. Goal setting the millionaire way. Clarity, commitment, and execution. Most people set goals the wrong way. They write down what they want, without changing who they are. They list dreams without building systems. They chase outcomes without mastering execution. Millionaire minds think differently. They don't just set goals, they engineer results. They treat goals like missions, not wishes. They combine vision, structure, discipline to make them real. This is not about hype or wishful thinking. This is about clarity, identity, and ownership. The illusion of big goals. You've heard the advice. Set huge goals. Think big. Dream bigger. Yes, ambition is essential. But big goals without structure are just distractions dressed as ambition. The millionaire mind doesn't stop at setting big goals. It breaks them down. It asks, what is the system that guarantees this outcome? Then it builds that system into the daily routine. Big goals don't matter if you're not willing to become the kind of person who can carry them. The average mind sets goals. The millionaire mind builds alignment. Clarity over confusion. One reason most goals fail. They're vague. They make it specific, measurable, and timed. Earn $150,000 in 12 months through my new consulting offer. Lose 12 pounds in 60 days by walking and following a nutrition plan. Wake up at 5:30 a.m. 6 days a week to reclaim my time and rebuild my energy. Specificity turns fog into focus. Start with identity, not just goals. Most people chase goals that conflict with their self-image. They want success, but they see themselves as inconsistent. They want wealth, but they carry stories of lack and unworthiness. They want discipline, but they identify as lazy or chaotic. The millionaire mind asks, who must I become to make this normal? Before chasing a goal, they install the identity that can carry it. Not I want to be rich, but not I want to be fit, but I'm an athlete in training. Not I want more focus, but I'm the architect of my time. They don't force the outcome. They embody the version of themselves that makes the outcome inevitable. The power of process goals. There are two types of goals. Outcome goals. What you want, e.g., earn $100, lose 15 pounds. Process goals. What you do, e.g., make 5 offers per week. Work out 4 buys week. Millionaire minds focus on process goals because outcomes are lagging indicators. You can't control results, but you can control actions. Success becomes repeatable when you focus on what you do, not what you hope happens. The formula is simple. The clear outcome, Pauli process, the inevitable success. They don't wait for luck. They build momentum through micro-consistency. Discipline is the bridge. Having goals without discipline is like owning a car without gas. It looks good, but it goes nowhere. Millionaire minds don't just write their goals once and forget them. They return to them daily. They track progress. They review behaviors. They ask, what did I do today that moved this forward? They treat every goal like a contract, signed with actions, not words. They know that the version of you that writes goals on January 1st is not the version that achieves them in August. Only disciplined action creates results. Build a goal execution system. Here's how millionaire minds structure their goals to win consistently. 1. Set the 1-year vision. Not 10, not 5. Where do you want to be in 12 months? Income, health, time, relationships, lifestyle. Define it in numbers and clear outcomes. 2. Break it into 90-day sprints. Most people underestimate what they can do in a focused 3 months. Take your annual goals. Break them into quarterly targets. Ask, what would make this quarter a success? Reverse engineer weekly actions. From 90-day goals, map out weekly process goals. 3 workouts per week, 5 outreach emails per week, 1 deep work session per day, 1 date night per week. These are your execution levers. 4. Track daily. Millionaire minds use tracking tools, apps, journals, whiteboards. Doesn't matter. The point is to make progress visible. Every action tracked builds confidence. Every win logged creates momentum. 5. Review and adjust weekly. Every week they ask, what worked? What worked? What didn't? What's the plan for next week? They don't shame themselves. They optimize. Because they're not trying to be perfect. They're trying to be consistent. 1% better energy. 1% better focus. 1 more action taken. 1 more belief upgraded. These micro wins compound into macro results. Millionaire minds play the long game. They know the results will come if the inputs are respected. Obstacles are part of the plan. Goals don't fail because of obstacles. They fail because of poor expectation management. Average minds get derailed when things get hard. Millionaire minds expect resistance and keep going anyway. They don't confuse difficulty with failure. They don't personalize setbacks. They reframe obstacles as part of the journey. This challenge is proof that I'm growing. This discomfort means I'm evolving. This delay is teaching me patience, not punishing me. They persist, not because it's easy, but because they've already decided. The goal is non-negotiable. Break it down into 90 days. What progress must happen this quarter? Define it. They design 3 weekly actions, small, repeatable actions. Track them, make them visual. Install a weekly review ritual, Sunday night or Monday morning. Review, reflect, re-anchor to identity. Write your I am identity. Read it daily. Embody it. Most people set goals based on what they think they can do. Millionaire minds set goals based on who they intend to become, and then become that person through action. They don't hope for success. They train for it. They don't chase goals. They align their life with results. That's the difference. Part 10. The Millionaire Mind and Mastering Time. How high performers think, plan and execute. We all get the same 24 hours, but not all time is equal. For the millionaire mind, time is not something to spend. It's something to invest. It's the most valuable currency there is. More than money, more than talent, more than connections. Because once it's gone, it's gone. The difference between those who build wealth and those who chase it for life. How they see, use and protect their time. Time is not money. Time is leverage. You've heard it before, time is money. But millionaire minds know that's not quite true. Time is far more valuable, because money lost can be earned again. Time lost is gone forever. Here's the real equation. Time times focus CA, results. Time times leverage wealth. Millionaire minds don't just manage their hours, they multiply their impact within them. They ask, what is the highest value use of this hour? What could I delegate, automate or eliminate? What decision unlocks 10 more doors? They don't chase busy, they chase leverage. Busy is the enemy of wealth. The average person confuses motion with progress. They stay busy, overwhelmed, checking boxes, but nothing changes. Millionaire minds move differently. They don't want a full calendar. They want a powerful one, where every block creates results. They protect their energy with intention. They say no more than they say yes. They don't mistake chaos for commitment. They understand, if your time is always reactive, your future will always be random. Millionaire time habits. Let's break down the behaviors that separate productive, focused minds from the distracted majority. They plan the day before the day starts. Before bed or first thing in the morning, they already know what their top 3 priorities are, what they're saying no to, what progress looks like by EOD. They don't leave the day to mood or chance. 2. They work in time blocks, not to-do lists. Millionaire minds live by the calendar, not endless lists. They block time for deep work, focused, uninterrupted output on their highest leverage activity. They treat that block as sacred. No calls, no social media, no multitasking, just execution. 3. They batch low-value tasks, emails, admin, small decisions. They don't scatter these through the day. They batch them often once a day, sometimes once a week. Why? Because switching tasks destroys focus. And focus is how money is made. 4. They use no as a productivity tool. Millionaire minds protect their yes. Every yes to a distraction is a no to a priority. They guard their time like a CEO guards company assets, because that's what time is, an asset. Deep work over shallow effort. Shallow work is reactive, repetitive, low return. Deep work is focused, strategic, and often uncomfortable. Millionaire minds schedule deep work every single day, even just 90 minutes, because it's the kind of effort that builds wealth, moves big ideas forward, creates systems that scale, solves real problems. Shallow effort looks productive. Deep work is productive, managing energy, not just time. Millionaire minds know time without energy is useless. You might have 10 free hours, but if your mind is foggy, your body drained, your soul uninspired, those hours go to waste. That's why they manage themselves first. Sleep is non-negotiable. Nutrition fuels clarity. Movement sharpens thinking. Breaks are strategic, not lazy. They don't hustle to the point of burnout. They protect energy because results demand it. Decision-making is a time skill. Most people waste time by avoiding decisions. They overthink, delay, worry, loop in circles. Millionaire minds decide fast and clearly. They trust data, intuition, and feedback, not perfection. They understand the speed of execution creates momentum. Delayed decisions are invisible time thieves. Most choices can be adjusted. They're not permanent. They don't try to avoid mistakes. They move forward with confidence and correction. The power of 80-20 thinking, also called the Pareto principle. The 80-20 rule states, 80% of your results come from 20% of your actions. Millionaire minds ask constantly, what's my 20%? What few actions give me the biggest R? Where do I get the most impact for the least input? They double down on the high-leverage actions. They eliminate or delegate the rest. This is how time becomes exponential, not just efficient. Time audit. A wealth strategy. Want to upgrade your time immediately? Do a 7-day time audit. Track how every hour is spent, not how you think you use time, how you actually use it. You'll discover where energy is leaking, where distraction is hiding, what to cut, and what to amplify. Millionaire minds treat this like a financial audit, because every wasted hour is lost wealth. Millionaire time mantras. To close, here are timeless truths that guide every wealth-minded calendar. If it's not scheduled, it's not real. If I don't control my time, someone else will. The best return on investment is attention. Focus is the ultimate productivity hack. Time is the one asset you can't earn back. When you absorb these, everything shifts. Because millionaire success is not about working harder. It's about working on the right things, at the right time, in the right state. Everyday action steps. Millionaire level time habits. Do a 7-day time audit. Track your hours. Find the leaks. Cut what doesn't serve. Set a daily big 3. Identify 3 key actions that move your goals forward. Do those first. Block deep work time. At least 60-90 minutes per day. No distractions. This is your impact zone. Batch and schedule everything else. Emails, meetings, errands. Batch them into one block daily. Protect your morning. Start your day with intention. No phone, no news, just clarity and action. Millionaire minds aren't perfect. They're intentional. They don't have more time. They use it differently. That's the final rule. Time is not just something you manage. It's something you must, and when you do, you step into a level of power most people never touch, because they're too busy to notice they're wasting it. But not you, not anymore.